Didn't expect it to go so quick. It's gonna waffle there. No, sorry, give me this. This beer. How many people are looking? One person. Is that you, Christina? Or someone else? But anyway, yeah. Wow. I've got like a nice beer here. It's well, so are this. It's called Mr. President. This is like the treacle one. It's quite thick. It's like sauce. Right. Wow. It's gonna be a Friday night chat now, yeah? I'm on my own. I've got loads of stuff to talk about. I'll turn the music down again. Excuse me. Just for a quick sit down. I might come back. Might come back to you in a bit. You know, like deliver a bit of information, and then come back to you. I've got two people. Anyway, I downloaded yesterday. I'll get straight onto it. I just saw the thumbnail from Josh Reeves, and a thumbnail about how Trump saved Scientology from the deep state. So, of course, that, you know, it kind of triggered my vision towards that. It was a paid download sort of thing. It was about £6, but he reads through this book that they're selling to the public, apparently. Although this is the pre-volume. The one they're going to push to the public is 600 pages. This is 150 or something. But Josh Reeves read it in about 2 hours or something, and you know, he's commenting on the book as he was reading it, and it's quite good. It's you know, the way he does it. It just really put it in perspective for people and what they're up to, and they do play this good side, bad side within the organization. I don't know. I mean, I never even imagined ever talking about these people, being so passionate about talking about them. Not passionate about them, but talking about them, and what they plan to do to humanity behind closed doors. It's incredible how, and of course, Josh Reeves has been, since he mentioned this, his views has gone down, and like people are being shut off from. This is all interwoven within this grand plan, right? And I mean, anyone can read what he read is ludicrous, because you can just prove these things wrong. They're just blatant lies in these books, and they apparently sent this to Donald Trump, or you know, the person who wrote it, as in like they're laying it down, like they're basically blaming these free zone people. to know which side's which one's part of the deep state or not. But like, obviously, when they're free zoning, they're no longer in touch with the Church of Scientology. Yeah? So they haven't. You can't blame them. You know, the blame isn't. But it's all part of the same thing. Same as this Christy Woods rape allegation. Why on YouTube you've got other people like kicking off about Scientology, bringing up all these lawsuits, which, you know, there's many of them, but none of them mention this rape, these rapes. Is that just like being swept under the carpet or something? I mean, and who does say anything? Obviously, insiders are not going to say anything. Scientologists are not going to say anything, and normal people are not fucking bothered. So it's selective, you know. That's what gets put out there, and I reckon that Irish guy interviewing Christy Woods, he's in on it as well. And he's blatantly told people that he is. He says that he suspects David Miscavige of working for a darker agenda, deep state sort of vibe, and all this. And he's blatantly telling the truth to people. So he seems to be like a maverick, but he's not. He's actually fucking chill, or like a stooge. Now, this happens a lot in these areas. You get stooges and shills. You get people who pretend to be non-connected, which are. And this is where this free zone thing comes in. Now, for a long time, I knew that like the fucking main conheads out there were in on this, just through bombing them with, you know, their forums and stuff, their communities. David Icke, Freeman Fly, and it's funny what Josh Reeves said, like, because he says Freeman Fly out as well. He calls him free zone, but he calls him free zone, isn't it? Free zone fly. But and Alex Jones, Miles Johnston as well, and all the rest, you know, connected to that. They're all part of this psychological warfare. It's spiritual warfare going on for time. Now, it's been obviously really flimsy, as in like, because the stories are so ridiculous, a lot of them. It doesn't get any traction. It doesn't get any, you know, within people who seriously care. And that's their trickery again. They work within this very crafty thread of like working outside the public's comprehension, because it's so absurd. So everything's shrouded in absurdity. That's why you get so many wacky stories, and they just even get even more wackier, even just more crazy. And it's purely just to throw in more chunks of shit into this swamp. What these stories are. Now, like, if everyone thinks back, I mean, I wasn't born back then, but like when the nuclear bomb tests, think about it, right? They televised it, and it's when television was coming in. I've got two people. Wow, thank you. When television was starting to be given to the masses, you know, each house was getting their own TV set, and they were televising these bomb tests in the Nevada desert, you know, hundreds of them, and, you know, the Bikini Islands, all these colossal, incredible pictures and images fed to people through this TV. Now, when we look back, when like people who, you know, obviously born down the line, like myself and you guys, I guess, unless you're 90 years old or something, you know, further down the line, we look back and, you know, it's awesome. They are awesome real life images. Awesome as in, like, you know, they're colossal. These things were just monstrous, you know. Now, these are the first images that people were given on a mass scale, and it kind of reaffirmed or nailed in the fact that it's psychological. That's the reason why they did so many bomb tests. I mean, only like is it twice in human history have they ever used it for actual war. All the other times, all the other bomb tests were just purely psychological, and to testing the physical boundaries and stuff, but like mainly psychological. And this goes right up to the space programs. I mean, like NASA and shit. Not talking about what's not talking about, but this is what they want to feed the public. They want to give them the image that when they see this awesome, big, massive mushroom cloud and all these ships flying up in the air and stuff like that, it gives them, it makes anyone think, shit, what are they? They are specks of dust. They're meaningless, compared to these things that people can do. I'm probably not worded that very well, but do you know what I mean? Though, and that was that was the foundry. That was the basis of all the bullshit on top. So people were like rabbit in the headlights, looking at this big explosion, or these big explosions, and the threat which came along with that. Then, and people don't connect it all together. Well, they are now. More and more people are, and it's just purely just the substrate which they've they've laid out more and more bullshit and woven a fabricated story, and it's all linked to certain people, and it's all. I mean, it's not just me saying it now. I mean, there's like tons of people out there which know this, but it's not getting shown to people. It's not getting it's straight away being censored blatantly. And I mean, when it's happening to the person, I can't be censoring me. Like, for instance, when I try to sign up to someone's account or subscribe to someone's channel, and I have to do it every day because it does things unsubscribe me. Don't know whether it's a personal one algorithm, but it's just there just to make people kind of like they are throwing in bits and bobs now into the swamp to try and make it muddy it a bit more, but because it's drained, the swamp's initially drained, but there's lots of stuff still covered in mud. You can kind of make out what they are. They're not under the water, they're not, well, they're visible now. They're covered in mud and shit. So we just need to wash things down, really realize what they are, because the swamp's been drained. And whatever QAnon is, I mean, Joffreys says that he reckons that QAnon are heavily connected to the Free Zoner Scientology movement. And, well, it would kind of make sense from my perspective, yeah. Because it did come out after I did, like, heavily bomb these people and ask a lot of questions, and the QAnon came on the scene. No one correlated it, though, and I would contact people, doing all these, analysing cues, stuff like that, citizens investigative report, and just going on, man. I mean, I'm sure it was to wind me up, like, because they were saying stuff that I knew what they were relating to, but there's these people who were getting like paid and shit for explaining these Q posts were just fucking skimming over stuff that I mentioned Snow White loads, and there's loads of stuff which kind of like resonated, made sense, and it made sense to me even when Q first came on the scene. I thought perhaps the government is easing people in to realizing this. You know what I mean? Kind of, and I knew it would take time, so I didn't bother with it. But like now and again, I'd see like an update or something on the big Q posts, and I watch them. I never followed Q, I did. I mean, it's like question the anons, isn't it? Question the people, question the masses, see where they're at, because they dipstick, call it dipsticks, like acid tests, pH tests, like the dip in the stick to see how clued up people are, and most people have been red herringed. They really are, and it's devastating to find that out. Especially if you've been doing it for years. So I did think that that's the reason why people just carried on with like Ike and stuff like that. I thought, how the fuck has he not seen this? So I bombed his Google community over a year, well, about 2 years. Really did. And they thread it with music and stuff. And I just to kind of get his attention. And then sending him emails, I even signed up, in the background then. So like the Google thing was kind of like get attention seeking, obviously, but like just like into what I found out. Josh Reeves puts it in a nutshell. He fucking so like between us, we've got quite a lot of I mean, even alone, we've got proof and evidence of this happening. This being in a court of law, it's fucking blatant what's going on. Now, no court of law in the land will entertain this. This is where it gets tricky. You know what I mean? This is where it gets like working outside the boundaries of law. Because that's what's difficult, People say that, well, you can't. You're literally up against the controllers, as I said all along. So this is the reason why I was like a little bit stressed out when I was giving my address away, saying all this stuff and then putting it online. People just couldn't even realize that. Reason why I was a bit fucking looked a bit intense. Because I literally did think that I could be my last post for time. And nothing was happening. Loads of weird shit was happening, but like nothing that you kind of would expect. Fucking freaky shit, man. There was a time where I came back from this mission, and it was this is before QAnon, and I was like hammering these people. It was after my 14-day, 16-day Gold Road challenge, the Dark Night of the Soul sort of experience, which I went through, and not sleeping and kind of like like I said, it manifested physically, and these people were onto me at the same time, as if they were my demons. And I thought, they are. So I kind of, it went from there. It gets a bit etheric, rather. But these are people, these are real people. It's like dark magicians. I think they've got a form of, they've got white Dianetics and black Dianetics. Now Dexter Tor does black Dianetics, but he lured in with the white, so they're both the same. Honestly, this is what they're going to push as a New World Order religion. Not joking. This is what Josh Reeves says, and this is what I found out. Totally separate to what Josh Reeves said on that reading. From what he's found out, I mean, it's obvious what they're doing. It's fucking obvious. I mean, because he looks into the political side and he gets right in there, like Josh Reeves does. Now, I'm going at it from the point of view of like a general member of the public who's been abused by these people undercover. And you find that most of the trollers, people online who troll people, is annoying, are all part of this cult. It's fucking sick. and they are like fucking nerdy freaks. It's mad. Sorry, Christina. You know what I mean? But like, you weirdos. What? Anyway, why were you worried about Dexter? And you said you rang him. What? You got his telephone number? I tried to get him to ring me once. You know, like I was talking to him live as well on a live chat, and I gave him the number from my work scene. That even worked out all the codes and shit for him to ring, and he typed back saying, you caught me out. I'm fake." Or you checkmated me. That's what he said. You checkmated me. I'm fake. It was one of the last times I kind of like spoke to him. After that, it was more. I just kind of bombed him. You know, I would reply though to some. I think you could. What a fucking weirdo. Anyway, why are you worried about him? I mean, he lives out in the middle of nowhere, and he self-isolates all the time, apparently. So, I'm sure it's not the coronavirus that's got him. But what about Andrea? He's southern Italy, isn't he? Isn't it worse there? Or like, you know, it's one of the worst hit spots in the world. I don't know if he's still there or not, I'm not sure, but have you spoke to him? Because, I don't know, perhaps he's dead. You never know. Sorry. So anyway, this is all going on. This sneaky behaviour and lots of other shit though in the mainstream about these people. Obviously, that Louis Theroux did that thing, that film, and it kind of makes them out as being arseholes, yeah, being dicks, and just fucking harassing these. No one wants to know about it if they're not. It's all part of the fucking plan. It's sneaky. It's fucking really sneaky. So Lee Remedy and all that, and Tony Ortega, they're all in on it. They're all fucking in on it. And Chris Shaw, all of them are. This fucking dark and sneaky, I told you. And he would not believe this, but like the people who you think are anti-Scientologists are actually working for the man. And so it's all working up to blag and bluff the public. When a situation happens, I mean, you've got the coronavirus now, yeah? So when something happens like a natural disaster, an earthquake or a typhoon or a tsunami or something, or even an alien invasion, a real one, as in a real fake one, staged alien invasion, even that could still happen, because the masses do not know any of this. They do not know what's going on. So, and I did honestly think, like on New Year's Day, that was an attempted murder. I'm like, that guy drove into me, and I reckon from what I've learned, I mean, I really try and stay clear thinking this way, because it'll creep into the world of paranoia. Then you're always start thinking. But I have to analyze that situation, and it was fucking weird, how would the guy, and from what I've learned, people that are like, they have like certain people who say, we pay you 10 grand, the guy's going to come, he's there on the GPS, on your phone, he's going about 30, 40 miles an hour, just go and ram into the side of him or whatever, and just fuck him up a bit. We give you 10, 20 grand, and then you've got these people around to do that. Because the police didn't turn up, which is fucking weird. And he didn't go to the side, he head on. I spun around. That was dodgy, man. And the guy was dodgy. Anyway, oh yeah, this David Miscavige rape allegations, right? They're still online, yet other people, like anti-Scientologists, are all filing files, case files against Scientology. But none of them are bringing up this. Isn't that weird, though? This woman claims to have had 6 kids by Amy Miscavige, was raped multiple times with Shelley Miscavige watching. Like, it's probably bullshit, yeah? But it just goes to show that how little response even that got of people. And it was, to me, it was like, just, you know, there's me talking about them doing some sneaky shit with like splintering off into splinter groups, targeting the public, feeding them in disinfo, because that's what they are, the trollers. They're like the CIA branch of trollers, CIA disinfo artists, pretty much. But like the thing is that they're so heavily programmed though. It's incredible how programmed they are. How it's beyond me how the fuck anyone can be that programmed. Okay, now I mean it's like it is mad. Oh, yeah. So I got abused by these people, but I didn't know anything of them. I didn't know anything of Scientology. Didn't know anything of their tactics. Certainly didn't know anything about splinter groups and free zoners, and that they're essentially dark occultists. Many of the free zoners, even the ones in Scientology. I don't know what this book that Joffreys spoke of. It doesn't really put any of them in a good light. This guy was written from a Scientologist, honestly, perspective, and in it doesn't even say about Trump saving them. It was basically it's like a response, and Josh Reeves says it's a response from what he's been saying, but he's been like I said, like looking at it from a more political side. But he's obviously been a target, but not like a target, like an unknown. I didn't know they're targeting people who have no clue. Which I was, and I got targeted. I got groomed from making like the Organites. But then, when you look back into how I got into the Organites, looking at the Montauk Project and the author of the Montauk Project, and I mean, Josh Reeves says it. He says that like they are in control of the conspiracy truth-seeking movement, the free zone Scientologists. They control it because they know that that's the alt media. That's where the creative free thinkers are going to go. That's where people who are more open-minded are going to go, and that's where they can just suss people out. It's very easy to spot. And it's just having the evidence, though, this going on. And there's more than enough now. I mean, I've got tons. Josh Reeves has obviously got tons. Now, this all links to the Jordan Guidestone as well. It is like, this is the monster conspiracy. You know, like, Montauk, it was pretty much covered all the areas. You know, in Montauk, our Montauk Project. How many conspiracy theories can you squeeze into one story? Well, they've done it there. And then, obviously, some of them are conspiracies, which may be fact, maybe fiction, but it's all bundled into like the swamp there. But this one transcends that, as in like we find the origins of that, the calculation of doing that, presenting these stories to the public, the alt media, and checking their reactions. Because like I said, when I first found out about these things, I did feel numb for about a year, and it must have done that to people. You know, when you like sort of you realize what the fuck's going on, and I just felt a little bit. What can I never felt helpless, but like it was just like colossal, and information, and everyone's carrying on with like as if everything's normal, and then you've got all these horrific things happening, and it really does affect you. I mean, some people don't get affected, but like it does affect certain people, and these are like the empathic people. It fucks them up, and this is the plan. These long-term psychological plans laid out through the media and the internet, and fear stories. It's incredible. It's incredible. So look, I've gone on 30 minutes. Tell you what, I'll come back in a bit because I'll be up for a few hours. Yeah. I'm going to write that little list down as well. What next to talk about? That there is a way out. That's what I've been on about all the time. It's the reason why I think that they got onto me though as well. These people. And funny enough, like one of their agents came over to mine. I have to tell you about the Wendy Moran story. It's funny. I've spoken on films about it, but they got this person to check up on me. And sure, like if Sweeney wasn't there, she was going to do something dodgy. But we short circuited her. Like at the time, I found out how to make certain things, alchemy, out of certain things which should not, which you can get at home on lockdown if you want to say it up. But it's closely related to adrenochrome without killing a kid, without doing that shit. But after a long sleep, honestly, you have a frosty piss. So you save this up. Over time, you get this silt at the bottom of the bottle. And then you transfer that to a jar with caustic soda. And mix it around. Get it. Put it in the sunlight. Do a naphtha run on it, and you get a crystal from it. And it's very much similar to DMT. Whether it's adrenochrome, I don't know, because there's been no research on this. But other people do it as well. I mean, it's not just me. And apparently they first made DMT from piss and gone bark, which contains it. That's another story. So yeah, I had all these bottles, and I was making quite a bit at the time. And I give her a hit on my DMT, and that Sweeney was there on the roof, and giving the drug dream, and she took a hit, and then she went, she goes, give me some more bars. I want some more of your drugs, or something like that. I was like, so I got the hot flame out. She smoked my piss, and then it went weird. Then, she started stripping off down to her lycras on the roof. That's on the midday. All the guys washing the cars were looking up like that. She's jumping around and fucking flapping around and doing weird shit. We're like, oh man, fuck's this person? But then, she sat down and she was like, that's why I held her hand. I was like, it's all right. And she goes, how long will it last? And I'm like, I don't know. I was going to say, about 3 weeks. But I said, no, don't worry, but be about 2-3 minutes, be all right. I walked her through to the bathroom and then I left her in there. She was weird though. I mean, this is after she fucking dodgy. I didn't do this on purpose because we were, smoking my piss all day long, right? It kind of messed her up, but it short circuited her. I'm sure she was sent on a mission to do something. I kind of have a slight idea, but I don't even want to go. I mean, because like this person was like on the Christina probably knows that. Isn't it Christina? Um, Wendy Morant on this forum, Dexter Atoll's forum. It's got banned all of a sudden. And I'm like, that's weird. And then about a year later, when I decided to leave the forum, this person got in contact. I was the one that got banned. Like, oh, right, yeah. Like, they use these, like, double bluff lures. I don't know what Christina's contacting me for again. Really. I don't know why she's contacting Dexter, even. I mean, apparently from what she said about what Dexter was doing to her, like, but isn't it like affinity? The affinity thing, is it the Dianetic affinity? Any contact or any communication is affinity. It's interesting. I find everything interesting more than anything. How people do what they do. It's incredible, isn't it? Really? To the extent of what people do. And how much they commit their everyone else as much as themselves doing that. Doing whatever. God, this bit is strong, Mr. President. I tell you what, Donald Trump, I reckon after about 3 or 4 of them, he'd be on his arse. I mean, even a fully seasoned alcoholic would be. You know what I mean? It's like 10%. It's like wine. Nice though. I'll be back in a bit. I'm going to go through all weird stuff. And I'll write down a list. And we'll take it from there.